Hi, Martina and Hans here. Today we are going to talk about our book, Astrology for the Soul. And we have been working with astrology for many years, and it's a big passion in our lives. And it's because you can use your astrology chart to really understand yourself and to understand deep patterns in your life. And you can really see your astrological birth chart as a very powerful tool for healing and transformation. So, this book um, helps you to really start to understand the zodiac and your birth chart, so you learn more about the signs, the houses, the axis, and you learn more about the planets and the nodes and chiron. So we really dive into astrology and we show you how you can begin to uh, understand your birth chart, but also how you can start to interpret the energies of your own chart. So, as I said, we can really see astrology as a very powerful tool for self discovery and also for healing. And we can also see the birth chart as a divine blueprint. And in the book, we talk about astrology and how we can use the birth chart to find our life purpose and how we can use our birth chart to transform deep patterns within ourselves, but also in our relationships. So the birth chart shows themes, gifts, but also challenges. So we can see, for example, if we look at Aries, if we have our sun or moon or our ascendant in Aries, we are here to learn healthy power and to be powerful and to take initiative and do things in our own way. And if we have many planets or big activities in the sign of Cancer, we are here to master emotional healing and to really develop our emotional skills and but also our intuition. And if we have our sun or moon or ascendant in Scorpio, we are here to transform deep patterns within ourselves. And if we have a lot of Pisces energy in our chart, we are here to really understand ourselves in relation to others. So we are here to learn how to set boundaries and to develop our core. So it's as you can see, we can really use our birth chart to see what we are here to learn and how we can do it. So it's really a map and a guide that we can use not only now but in our in our whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A reason for us writing this book, we want to make it easy for you to understand astrology. Astrology can many times be a feeling, but it's so complicated, and many people miss out on the beautiful gifts of astrology. So this book is written for you, advanced but also beginner, where you can really go into and start understanding the soul interpretation of astrology. So it's really a tool to dig deep inside yourself. I was astonished the first time I came in contact with astrology. Martina told me things about astrology. I was just blown away. And I've been working for such a long time with healing, personal development, and help people all around the world. But it wasn't until I came in contact with astrology that I really could see it almost like in a scientific way. What is this? What is happening in the birth chart? And it can be for health, it can be for relationships, it can also be for work. So I was totally blown away. So this book is going to give you in-depth understanding what you can do to really become master of yourself and your life, and also be able to help other people. So it's a couple of hundred pages, and you can say, well, it's only a couple of hundred pages, but it's going to go into dig deep into different things in this book. It's packed with information. It's packed with things that you might not know about yourself previous, which you will understand now. So astrology is such a big thing right now. It's booming all around the world. And when me and Martina are out on trips all around the world, we meet people, and healing, sometimes we can talk about religion, not really, but when we bring up astrology, it's like a common denominator for so many people. So astrology has been around for thousands and thousands of years, and in the beginning it was used mainly by men. Now many powerful women are using this as a tool, but then it was about men a lot. And they use it in a scientific manner. They were doctors, they were philosophers, they were scientists and all that, who really used the placement of stars to do something beautiful with this for the human being. So it's such a powerful tool. And what you can do with the book, you can really look into, it gives you an understanding about your higher and lower self. So let's say that you have planets in Pisces in the second house. It can be, some people say you have a bad chart or a good chart. We don't look at it that way. We look, you have a chart that there's room for improvement, and also the power you have in the chart, how are you going to use it, and also the challenges. So when you understand that it's not a bad chart you have, but it's where you are in this chart, low aspects or high aspects, how you can transform that, you're going to be a powerful creator in your own life. So just by reading a book like this, Astrology for the Soul, you can go from maybe like, oh, I'm powerless, I can't do this, to really, really start creating the life you want. So it's really, really a gift. And the way it's written, it will open up your soul, because we are spiritual workers. We work with spiritual astrology. So what do you think about that, Martina?
Yeah, I totally agree. And we are both very interested in how we can combine the spiritual world and the astrology, because we can see that many times when we work with clients with the spiritual healing or chakra healing, sometimes it can be harder to grasp or to really see what we carry inside of us. But when we look at the chart, we really can see directly. We can see patterns, we can see what we carry with us from our childhood, and it all comes back to energy, just like you said, Hans. So we can look at the ascendant. So many of you maybe know your sun sign, like I'm an Aries and you are a Cancer sun. And we also have something that is called the ascendant sign. And that's how we navigate in life, but it also shows how we were programmed in our upbringing. It shows how we meet the world, and also what themes that were important when we grew up. So, for example, I am a Cancer rising. So my sun is in Aries and I am a Cancer rising. So what does it mean? So Cancer in the lower energy can be a bit scared or a bit protective, uh, but Cancer in the highest energy can be very warm and very intuitive, and have very unique gifts in emotional attunement. So my work in this lifetime is much about how can I go from the lower energies or blockages in this area to really reach my highest potential and to go into the highest energy in the sign of Cancer. So this is a very interesting um, journey. So when we dig into astrology, we can really be able to find out more about ourselves, how we were formed back in our upbringing. And one thing that is so fantastic with the chart is that you can see so many areas. You can, I would say, you can look at every area in your life. So you can look at your health, you can look at relationships, you can look at money, you can look at work, life purpose, you can look at your spiritual journey. There are so many components in the chart that really show where you come from and where you're going, and you can really see uh, what you bring in from past lives also into this life. So it's a very complex, but it's very um, uh, tangible, or how to say it. So you can really look and see uh, things that otherwise can be more hidden, or things that we may not be aware of.
Yeah, and it's so interesting with astrology. It is when you were born, the stars were standing in a certain position, and with this, with your sign and the house system is built up in a way where every person has then a different type of birth chart. And when you start to understand your birth chart, it is your uniqueness here on earth that will show, it will be present, it will be powerful. So many of people we meet when we're helping clients is like, oh, I can't do anything, I'm not good at anything. And we look at the birth chart and we see all their potential. So this book will help you raise your potential. It's not about wrong, wrong, wrong. It's about what gifts do you have and what challenges you have and how you can transform them to possibilities and gifts. That's mainly a big difference between other maybe astrology books. Sometimes it's like the gloomy things, the heavy things like Saturn. Many people see Saturn as something heavy. We see Saturn as something that can be restrictive to begin with, but powerful, transforming, and really to get you where you want through a power that you maybe didn't understand you had. And that can be through time and through life. So we look also at things like that. We look at the different power in the planets, how they apply to every sign and also to the houses. And once you understand that, it's going to show up things in yourself you didn't know that you had before. That's about life in general, but astrology in particular. But when you see something in the chart you haven't seen before, it opens up your soul even to a deeper, deeper level. So some people say it doesn't work, it's because I haven't looked at it. If you look at it and start to understand it, it will start to appear in your life. Just like, oh, I'm interested in red cars, suddenly you will see red cars in your life. We also work with the north node and the south nodes, and the nodes are so powerful. A lot of people might ignore them, but for me it's been really powerful. Where the south node is where many times you're coming from, and the north node is where you have to go into. So the difference between these, the north node is for many people a scary place. It can be a house and a sign that you feel this is uncomfortable. I don't know really how she'll handle this. And we help people there with the book and with other aspects in life how to go into the north node. And I know, Martina, you have a lot of experience and understanding of the north and south node. Do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, so we work a lot with the lunar nodes,
Mm.
and as Hans just mentioned, the nodes are very important, and sometimes you can look at someone's chart and only pay attention to the nodes, and you will see so much about this person's life's journey. You will see what this person carries from past lives and what the potential for the soul is in this lifetime. So, for example, I have my south node in the sign of Libra, and the Libra is much about relationships, how we relate to others. And when we have our south node in Libra, we often have many lifetimes behind us where we were very focused on relationships. So maybe I have had a lot of lifetimes before where I uh, where I was very occupied by my relationships. And in this lifetime, I am going into my north node in Aries, and Aries is the opposite sign in the zodiac and in the birth chart. So Aries is much about um, um, independence, and is much about initiative and how we express ourselves. So we can see Libra as the sign for relationships and Aries as the sign of our own core. So with the nodes here, our journey is much about to understand patterns in our relationships and go into this independent energy. So we are here to really develop an independent core and to really understand how who who we are in this lifetime. So it's a very big journey. It can be very difficult when we're going from the energy of our south node to the north node, but it's a part of the lessons that our soul chose for us this lifetime.
Yeah. And I also have the same experience with my nodes. I have my north node in Leo in the first house. And it was like, when I understood that, it's okay, Hans, to be like this. It's okay to be sometimes a bit too much. It's okay to be yourself. I start to understand I can relax in being myself. And you will also understand that reading this book, you can be yourself. You don't have to be a bad copy of someone else. You can be yourself, because a birth chart is your chart, it's no one else. So how can you be someone else's birth chart? That's not the meaning. You have your unique birth chart. We also work with a Chiron. Chiron is an asteroid, and you can say it's a bit smaller than a planet, so it's less interesting. But there, you will be mistaken, because Chiron is called the wounded healer until you heal it, and then it's called the healer. And I have Chiron in my 8th house in Pisces, and I've been wounded healer. I've been down and out. I've been almost half dead. And when I start to understand I can use this wounded healer to heal myself, I became powerful and was able to heal my life, help other people to heal their lives, and hopefully also this beautiful wife, my Martina, to heal her life. So this is very, very, very powerful. And it's some people might say, oh, I mean, look, you look at this book, Astrology, oh, I'm not interested, it's not what I'm looking for. But give it a chance. We were both not interested in astrology. We've seen this magazine, birth chart. No, they have just like, oh, what's happening Cancer this month and all that. And I was like, I don't believe in that at all. But once we start understanding this on a deeper level, it was really eye-opening and eye-catching for me, and I know also for Martina. So give it a chance. Just open up for your soul in the book, and it's such an cheap investment to go into, and the rest work you can do in yourself. You can find out so much about your birth chart, and I think it's a lifelong journey to understand yourself and other people. And also, a good thing about the book is it's a workbook, you could say, but it's also information book, and we always work with information and then be able to do own exercises and execute this. So it's not just intellectual reading, it's actually executing something. And the other way around, it's not just a notebook to put down things that might be of interest. So we know, because me and Martina, we have one thing, we have many things in common. One thing in common, we want things to work. We have been looking at things in all aspects of life that hasn't worked, and we found out that this book would really fit into this pattern, and it's written in a modern way. Many astrologers work with older way of looking at astrology. We're not saying that's wrong, but for some people it can be a bit more complicated. And it is in a way complicated, but it's also meant to be easy. It should be accessible for all people. In back in the days, we're talking 1,000 years ago, it was not accessible for all people. It was accessible mainly for men, and men who were scientists and all that, and they were on a different level. But today, with all computer programs and information you can read on the internet, it's accessible for everyone. So I think it's time to make astrology accessible for everyone, and I think this book really, really can do this in a deep way. So it's I would say it's a complete tool to go from where you are to where you want to be in life, but in astrology particularly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have something more to say?
Yeah, I love you. Yeah. No, I think we can round it up here. We also work a lot with the chart ruler, of course.
Yeah,
Do you want to say something about that, or?
I can say something about the planets.
Yeah,
So we have, as many of you know, in astrology, we have a lot of planets like the Sun and the Moon, and Mars. We have Venus, Mercury, and other planets, and we can use the planets to really understand our needs and our motivation in our daily life. For example, we can use the moon placement to see how we express ourselves emotionally. We can use the placement of Mercury to see how our thought patterns um, comes into form in our daily life and what we think about. And we can use Mars, for example, to really see where are our motivation. Um, and we can also look at Venus to see more about what we value, but also more about what we like in ourselves, but also in other people. So when we look at Venus, we can see what we often attract unconscious in our closest relationships. So as you can see, we can use the planets to really understand deeper aspects of ourselves. So we can really enhance the power and the energy of each planet to become the best version of ourselves.
yeah.
Yeah,
And also, we meet a lot of people who don't believe they have any spiritual part in them. And in the birth chart, we can reveal it. We can see this enormous power you have within yourself. So for many people who are into spiritual work, this can be an eye opener, really, to look at the astrology chart too.
yeah,
So we look a lot about uh, house 4, 8, and 12, for instance, for this. It can be other things related to this. So that's very powerful. And also, it's like if you're stuck in work-related things, we also look at 2, 6, and 10 to see, when you start working, what idea do you have? How are your routines in house number 6? And then in 10, how do you interpret it? And this really gets you going in life. And when you start to understand the combinations of all this, it's also powerful that you start to be, I think I'm more humble with myself, and I'm also more humble to other people, because all people have different birth charts. All people are different. So how can I judge someone not to be like me when we're all so different and our way around? So it really opens up so many aspects how you can go on in life and see, you can see the whole world as one birth chart, because I mean, you have the world was born a specific day, and then you can see your country, whatever. So you can dig into this deep personal use, but also for the world as a whole. What we also do, and you can use this book for too, is start interpreting if you have kids, if you have friends, your parents, whatever. You can see their birth charts, and when you start to understand their birth charts, you can see, okay, that's why my mother's like that, that's why my father like that. How can I help my child in this manner? And I would give a big okay for the big three. I would say the ascendant, the sun, and the moon placements, and this book, you start to understand that. I also want to recommend the sister book we have written to the ascendant, which is specialized very much on the ascendant and the placement of the sun. Of course, many other aspects too, but these two combines, they're really powerful. So I can talk about astrology the rest of my life. I think it's a perfect tool, and this is also a perfect gift.
yeah,
It's a very good gift. Okay, you give a person a book, astrology for the soul, interest, and it's like, oh wow, what happened? And maybe not everyone will have an interest in it, but the person who starts looking at, like we start looking at astrology, it can be a gift for life. And we know you got a gift, And you looked at a book when you were young, 17, 18, which opened your eyes for healing. I looked at some books in my life, so it's these eye openers can be really good. So this is a great gift all around the year, but of course when you start coming up to the big holidays too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really.
Mm.
So we hope that you will enjoy this book, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it, darling.
I think that's it. So we, we wish you a good day, and we see you soon again.
Yeah. Have a good day. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.